So, we've been playing a lot of, like, mid-range variants in Pioneer so far. We kind of started off with, like, the Rakdos mid-range decks that most people are playing. I obviously do think this deck's very good. You get access to really premium cards like Fabled the Mirror Breaker. Crocus is very strong. We also played a green-black mid-range deck, which is somewhere, I think. Where is it? There it is. Getting access to Grimflayer, Abrupt Decay, Tracker, all really good additions. But all of these decks are very much. I've also been trying to mess with. I need to get these out of the deck. These aren't Pioneer legal. I thought they were. I haven't played this deck yet. But all these lists are very much base black, splashing other colors. And I kind of think it may actually be the best option to just cut the splash and lean on mono black. You have lots of really strong options in mono black, including some cards that you can't really play outside of it, like Sign in Blood, Yarok's Fenlurker. Invoke Despair is also way easier to cast in mono black than in any splash color. And one of the big upsides of playing mono black is you just get to play 4 Castle Locthwain, 4 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, and your mana gets to be smooth and it gets to be really consistent and painless, which is I think pretty valuable. And I don't think you really sacrifice too much in card quality either. I actually think Fenlurker is a great card. And I think one question we'll probably get a lot is, Spike, why aren't you playing Gifted Aetherborn? And my general impression is that Gifted Aetherborn is a pretty mediocre card that makes your good matchups better and your bad matchups worse. We're playing 4 Fabled Passage for Fatal Push. This is going to be a very common thing you see in these Pioneer Black decks, I think, is playing some number of Fabled Passage for Fatal Push. I know that they intertapped early. I think that that's okay. I think that enabling push is very important. They're also really good with Urborg because you can just hold them. Hold them for Revolt later. So that's why we're playing the Urborg, is because of the Fabled Passages. Colin, thank you for the 16 months. Appreciate you. Okay, looks like we're playing against Lotus Field, obviously. We actually have a pretty solid hand against them. And we do have a decent amount of discard and damping spheres to bring in. Great, 19 with Prowess based on this. Awesome. Did you try the Underworld Breaches or no? Because I haven't tried those yet. Run 1 Grey Merchant and 4th Invoke. We don't have nearly enough devotion for Grey Merchant to be good. Yeah. We're way more spell based than we are permanent based. So like the Nykthos Grey Merchants, just not, I think, an important part of this deck's game plan. Okay, so they already have 2 Lotus Fields in their hand and a Thespian Stage, which is pretty scary. I guess what I'll do here is I'll take Liar with the Thoughtseize, and then I'll Duress the Shimmer, and then they'll be out of gas, but they will have millions of mana, which is obviously a problem, and their top decks are really good. Do you think Deadweight is playable as a 5th mana removal spell? I would play Bloodchief's Thirst over Deadweight every single time. Okay, they play Thespian Stage on turn 2. I guess they maybe should just cast the Shimmer. But I mean, I think I have to Thoughtseize the Lier. Okay, but now I'll Duress the Shimmer, and I'll be pretty happy they didn't cast it. Hopefully they don't have, like another card draw spell in their hand. Nope, just a Grazer. And, it is a problem, of course, in this matchup that our clock is generally pretty slow. Not much we can do about it here, to be honest. The breaches are so much better ever. Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for saying that. It saved me some time in my testing. That was definitely my guess as well. All right, I guess that's a clock. That's a very slow one. Well, not not very slow, but somewhat slow. Gonna push the Grazer into turn 2. Why Sign in Blood over Read the Bones? Isn't Scry 2 Draw 2 better? Sign in Blood is 3 mana. Or sorry, Sign in Blood is 2 mana. Read the Bones is 3 mana. And 1 extra mana is the difference between 2 and 3 mana in Pioneer especially is huge. The difference between 2 and 3 mana is huge. It's just night and day. So puts in his Lotus Field Mystery card. I think the 2 mana 3/2, which comes back from the grave, could be good in this deck. Yeah, I think that card is gonna be very good in Pioneer. That card may even be good in Modern. That card seems sick. When is the Pioneer Challenge weekend for Spawn Challenge? Yeah, the Pioneer Challenge is much later on Saturday, and then on Sunday, the Pioneer Challenge is like an hour after the Modern, but it's also like, the Modern starts at like 7 a.m. my time. Uh-oh. 1 crash, 1 tar fire, and 2 unholy heat instead of 4 crashes is also important. I mean, I feel like I really like the crash throughs, but I also don't know that I'm also like, I know some people are in the tar fire for DRC camp. I'm very much not in that camp. I'm playing a lot of Invoke Pioneer. Seems mostly super good. Maybe Prom noticed that blue matchups, they're 3 for 1 mana. Invoke is 5 mana. Their 3 for 1 is 1 mana. Oh, they're Treasure Cruise? I mean, Treasure Cruise is obviously pretty busted. Okay, so they get to cast 2 of these. They get to cast 2 of these? What the hell? Alright, I guess I'll put the Omniscience back in. But I'm pretty sure the other card gets me. I think we just concede. Yeah, they get to draw half their deck. Is Night's Whisper legal in Pioneer? It's not, but Slime and Blood is also like strictly better than Night's Whisper in a mono black deck because you can target your opponent, and every single land here taps for black. Okay, so I'm basically gonna bring in these 8 cards, and Weathered Runestone does stop the black, the spell we just saw, the Sultai Ultimatum from working. I thought the Lilianas are weak enough that I'll at least want those instead. I think I also probably want like Knight of Malice. Well, Knight of Malice gets blocked by a Grazer. Kind of embarrassing. Yeah, I think I'll play 2 Weathered Runestones. Definitely have a lot of sideboard cards for this matchup. What about Fabled Passage? I've been super impressed with the cards. Definitely very Pioneer playable. What about Modern? I mean, I think it's somewhat playable. Oh boy. Somewhat playable in Modern. I don't know, like, I feel like I've seen, like, millions of, like, spicy hot takes that, that Fable is, like, the truth in Modern, but I don't think it is. I think it's worse than a lot of other 3-drop options. I think it's really slow in Modern, especially opposed to Pioneer, where it can afford to be slower. Golly, Leyline of Sanctity, I can't believe it. Dang it. Sorry, I was kind of losing my train of thought. You know, I think it can afford to be slower in Pioneer than it can be in Modern. Just like it really has 4 modes because the 4th mode has Summoning Sickness. It has a lot of cards that it competes with. I haven't been that overly impressed with it. It is somewhat playable, maybe in Creativity, maybe in like Ponza, maybe in a few other decks, but for the most part, I think the card is a little overrated in Modern, while still somewhat playable. What is Runestone for? It stops the Sultai Ultimatum. Yeah, it stops them from casting it. Okay, not the worst draw. Yeah, we're talking about Fable of the Mirror Breaker in Modern. Okay, 25 land deck. Couldn't fight their land, unfortunately. That being said, this is another thing that I think a lot of people aren't doing, is I think you usually want to wait on the Damping Sphere until they put a Lotus Field into play. Since it's usually really tough for them to go off the turn they put a field into play, and like you make them sack those lands, and you just make them kind of play into this a little bit. Obviously, this is probably a little bit more true for Alpine Moon, because at least when you Alpine Moon Lotus Field, it's really awkward. If they have an answer for the moon, because they just get to put it into play without sacking any lands. Runestone doesn't stop Ultimatum. Don't ignore chat. Don't ignore chat! Don't ignore it. Why doesn't it stop Ultimatum? Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. Is it because they're casting from exile? I think you might be right. When it chooses up Beside You, and I guess we're pretty toast then. Do not ignore chat. Okay, well, learning lesson. We even talked about this the other day, talking about how this does stop the Ultimatum, but I guess you're right, yeah. Yeah, Leyline of Sanctity, just kind of 0 mana win the game. They got Thespian Stage instead of a second Lotus Field. Alright, Yarok's Fenlurker gets right around Leyline. I think of Ashiok Dreamrender for this matchup. I mean, I would play like any number of Damping Spheres or like Necrominches over any other number of cards. I don't know.
It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
If they've got these ley lines, this matchup does seem abysmal. Not that this turn, though. This does flip.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
So 3. I'm trying to think if like activating the Hive is good. I think it maybe is actually like weirdly correct to castle Locthwain here. Just try to find my second Damping Sphere. Just don't have like almost anything else that's that relevant, and like activating the Hive doesn't increase the clock at all. I think this Lotus deck too strong. I'm more biased because I hate Wish We Could Ban. I think it's like pretty bad for the format. Yeah, I really am not a fan of it being like it's always been like super strong, always been really hard to interact with. There are hate pieces for it now, but I do think it's a big problem that like decks get to play Damping Sphere, but now the Lotus Field deck has Besage, that it's like very easy to just tutor and answer to any hate piece, which are all the best hate. Sorry, my voice chat just started to listen to what I was saying. I got all distracted. It's again very easy to just answer the hate pieces, and it's not an unbeatable deck, but it's very powerful, it's very consistent, and it's very resilient. And I generally have found that I don't I don't think it's great for the format. I'm gonna trade Blue, White, and Pioneer. I've been playing a little bit off stream. The deck's good. We'll be playing some of it, yeah. And like another thing too, a lot of people just say, a lot of people have been saying you should play Necromintia against them, but I'm not sure that I agree with that, because like they can beat a Necromintia if they just have a Lotus Field in play before turn 3, which is very easy for them to do, either if they're on the play or they have a Grazer. And apparently they also have Leyline of Sanctity too. Breach. The Lotus deck was broken with Underworld Breach. It was actually just really unfair. And then they banned Breach instead of Lotus Field. And, those kind of bans are always like really risky. Okay, you can keep this. Can you not Necromancer Fave Wishes, so no sideboard search? I think that they can... I don't think that all of their win cons are in the sideboard. I could be wrong, though. Okay. Turn 1 Steam Vents. I think I will wait on the Thoughtseize, so I can go, like, Fenlurker into 3-drop into Thoughtseize 3-drop. Would the downside be including Nykthos in this list? That it's... Nykthos is basically always a colorless land. Or it's maybe an exaggeration, but, like... We are very, very permanent lights. We have 4 Fenlurker, 2 Liliana, 3 Trespasser, not great with Nykthos. We're very light on permanence, and Nykthos being a colorless land in the deck with Fenlurker, and a deck with Sign in Blood, and a deck, I think I wouldn't want to play it. It's probably the case that the deterministic line with Ultimatum is so good, it's probably good for it to exist at a base power level. So I guess what's being said? Sorry. I think I kind of like going Fenlurker then Thoughtseize here. Just having double Fenlurker in play against the Thing in the Ice is kind of nice, because we get to replay them, potentially. Flame Blessed Bolt, Iteration, consider. I guess I'll take the Iteration. Then I do have the Trespasser, some Graveyard Hate for the Cruise. Yeah, I mean, the Sulta Ultimatum is very strong, I think, in the Lotus Field deck, but it's also, like... They have plenty of other options. I don't think that card, like, makes or breaks it. Okay. Wait, these are horrors? What a random interaction. I had no idea. Guess that's okay. I'm just definitely just taking consider here. The deck dissolves Ultimatum You Dads. The combo exists without just lines, probably a healthier power level. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, so you have the Lotus Field combo. Already was already one of the best decks. Then they print Underworld Breach. You have to ban Breach. Then they print Sultai Ultimatum. You have to ban Ultimatum. It's like, but and then if they ban Ultimatum, Lotus Field is still a great deck in the format, probably, right? Oh, awesome draw. Like I can't imagine that they would do something like ban Ultimatum and then all of a sudden the deck's not that good. I think that the deck would very likely continue to be one of the best in the format, if I had to guess. Is there a problem with there being a top tier combo deck? No, not inherently. I don't think the deck is the problem because it's a combo deck. I think it's a problem because of how difficult it is to interact with. By far the best ways to interact with it are combo pieces. Oh, they discarded Cruise. Deal. Sorry. The best way to interact with the deck are lock pieces. And the lock pieces are now super easy to answer because of Beseiju, has been my recent experience against it. Very easy to answer because of Beseiju, and Odawara to a slightly lesser extent. And then the deck is really resilient to counter spells and discard spells. It has Grazer, so like even if you're an aggro deck with a turn 4 kill, Grazer buys an extra turn really often. You play draw, like they're very likely to race the aggro decks. It just like is very hard to attack. You know, they've got Leyline of Sanctity, so like, you know, just totally blanked our entire deck last match. Now, this is not me calling for a ban, but this is me saying I do think the deck is somewhat of a problem in the format at the moment. And, you know, sometimes you solve problems and sometimes they eventually eat bans. Go play second Kalitas. Nah. But what about Winota? Winota is also, like, super problematic, I think. Winota is way easier to interact with. But, you know, we talk about one thing at a time. Okay. Narset Days and Doing, thinking the Ice Iteration. I don't think I need to take the Narset. What matchups do you like Lily? I think Lily's kind of like generically good. So you have it in the main deck where it's a powerful 3-mana planeswalker with a lot of loyalty. Yeah, powerful 3-mana planeswalker, lots of loyalty, and can be card advantage, can be interaction, threatens the ultimate, and so like the card really does shine against like usually small creature decks, and it's not bad against control, but you get 3-mana planeswalker as well. They around the testing Blue-Red Dragons list. I haven't finished building the Blue-Red Dragons list. Yeah, I was kind of worried that they would Days Undoing. But here we are. Alright, let's start with the Thoughtseize. Cruise, Consider. Flame Blessed Bolts. I think I take the Consider. The Go Blanket's going to be really good against the Cruise next turn. And then I kind of like just pushing the thing in the ice, playing a Hive tap, attacking. Skirtus with the 12 months. Happy anniversary. Welcome back. Appreciate you. How about Mana Leak in Pioneer? The card I would kind of like to see in Pioneer is... I tweeted it. I can't remember the name. It's 2 mana, counter target spell unless they pay 2, and then replicate for a blue. Kind of like that one more than Mana Leak. Lose Focus. I think that would be the 2 mana. I would like some kind of like flexible 2 mana counter spell. I think Mana Leak's a little too good. I think that Lose Focus seems to me to be like about the power level I'd like to see. Good enough artifacts to make a Tez deck. Kind of stuck with the tracker list. I don't know. I've gotten stuck with the Tezzeret decks too. Remand would be very, very good. I also don't love giving like Lotus Field Remand. Logic now would be fine for Pioneer. Yeah, it would be fine. Alright, they discard Flame Blessed Bolt and the Cruise. Wait, they discarded the 2 spells we know about? They have Fire Impulse still? Fire Impulse and then, like, Steam Vents, Shokuzan. Mystery card. Like, I'm fine if they are gonna Shokuzan block. It's fine. But Rune Snag? I don't know. We maybe don't need to like ask you about every single 2-mana counterspell ever. I don't know. I like Lose Focus. Lose Focus is the one I'd choose. But yeah, I kind of feel like an effect like this would be good. I don't have super strong feelings about it. Oh, brutal. Guess I am just gonna Hive the Narset probably. They reveal a Treasure Cruise to the Narset, which is not super castable, and then they can't Fire Impulse this. They don't have 2 spells in their yard, and this is also gonna, you know, make their Cruise harder to cast. So their hand is Fiery Impulse, Treasure Cruise, 2 mystery cards. Alright, kind of like Thoughtseize, Indigo Blank into Sign in Blood, probably? Or maybe Sign in Blood first. I think the Cruise is like really the only card I'm like particularly scared of here. Oh boy. It's a lot of gas. Okay, so they keep the Anger of the Gods in their hand. Kind of a weird choice, I don't know. I guess they're scared of the Graveyard Trespasser, which we do have. So you have 6 mana, 7 mana. Alright, I think this is a super straightforward Trespasser, exile Fenlurker, Sorin minus turn. Well, no, not, sorry. Don't want to minus the Sorin because they have the Anger. Guess we plus. Yeah, I'll take that. So logic for Thoughtseize before as opposed to after. If they have any kind of counter magic here, I'm really going to want to Thoughtseize first. Probably making a Vampire this turn. Let me just Invoke Despair first. Invoke Despair I think is great in Pioneer. Been really happy with the card. What is the rock part of rock decks? Mana rocks? Rock generally refers to black-based mid-range decks. It does usually refer to green-black, to be honest, but I think I kind of like adapting the definition a little bit. What's great about Invoke Despair is they do often like chain together like this pretty quickly, really closes out games super fast. Thrilling through the 7 months, appreciate ya. Yeah, Turok would probably be too good for Pioneer, to be honest. Okay, Narset. What's good about this is we're gonna have perfect info. They're down to Anger of the Gods. They find a Fiery Impulse. They do not have. It's turn 10. They do not have their Spell Mastery. And I think I'll keep this in the blind on the play. It's kind of close. World Tree over Cataracts. Although I guess it's kind of awkward with the Cabal Stronghold, right? So maybe still Cataracts. Yeah, I like someone did 5-0 with the Cabal Stronghold deck, and I think it's likely not good. I think it's very likely not good. But like one interesting thing about the Cabal Stronghold, right, is like it doesn't have the huge downside that Cabal Coffers has, because it always at least taps for colorless, and so it's like I'm not sure that it's necessarily bad, but I'm you know still thinking about it. I just want to be mana efficient here. Yeah, I just need to play test it is what I'm really saying. Got feed with 7 months. Thank you, Shaq. Can we bring back down the Hex? Just for Bishop of Wings. Oh, this card looks so fun. This card looks so fun. I love the art. Love everything about this card. Okay, interesting. How favors mono black against control? Seems like a great matchup against you. Against blue-red control? Yeah, that matchup seemed pretty good. We just obviously just played against it. Seemed totally fine. Don't love how flooded I am at the moment. I will offer this trade though. Cool. Oh. Doesn't take it? Why I'm on Yarok's Fenlurker? Fenlurker is great. Fenlurker is an amazing card, so I'm playing it.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Thrilling with the 250 bits. So thrilling with the gifted sub and Tyro with the 250 bits. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Fenlurker is great. It comes down. It is a very impactful 2-for-1. The fact that it exiles the card and doesn't discard is huge in this format. It's also, you know, late game mana sink to turn into a real threat. I think this card is very strong, and I would play it in most mono black shells in the format. Pioneer goes back to Return to Ravnica in form of Legality. I've been played since near Ice Age, playing it now. Got a mono black discard deck from eBay. Working some of the cards, expensive, better cards. Some are expensive. Yes, that's definitely true. Okay, they hit me for 6. They have 4 cards in their hand. We are pretty flooded. Although that's a very good draw. Gonna cast this now, so I can exile the entity with the Trespasser, and also obviously not get it blown out by prowess effects. And the March of Wretched Sorrows I think are very good with all the like Sign and Bloods and the Castle Locthwains, all the life you're paying for cards. Yeah, I think the Izzet Prowess decks are good and like kind of generally underplayed. I'm not sure if this is Phoenix or Prowess necessarily, because they have the thing in the ice. Yeah, they just discarded Phoenix. One more spell. Oh, they discarded 2 Phoenixes. But they don't have another spell. I can't believe they don't have another spell. That's wild. We don't have another spell either, I guess. Pretty scary stuff. Bit flooded this game, obviously. Piece of the puzzle into Izzet Charm to Gate Lightning Axe. They put Izzet Charm and Lightning Axe into their hands, so they can get their Phoenixes back here, which will be pretty tough to get. Yeah, Trespasser is really good. They have 3 Phoenixes. Okay, I think, you know, gonna lose. Magic with Twitch Prime, appreciate ya. Yeah, not even Fenlurker can save us here. It's okay though. Definitely want the go blanks against this deck, and I think Liliana is a card that does not shine very much. I'm probably gonna want more Duresses, maybe not the full 3 here. I do think I like Fenlurker. Still, I'm kind of interested in maybe cutting some Sorins. Maybe like the 3rd Sun and Blood, just playing 3 Duress. Do you think a sideboard Cry the Carnarium? Cry the Carnarium is the kind of card that makes your good matchups better. And your bad matchups, like, you know, just kind of a necessary card. Like, I think this is a favorable matchup, and like you're also already really good against the other like creature decks that Cryo is good against. Don't you like Damping Sphere here? I haven't been bringing it in. Is it good against Phoenix? Maybe it is. Mad to the Twitch Prime, Knight with 13 months. I'm not of the opinion that it is good against Phoenix, but maybe it's good. Do you think the Jessica Lowesfield deck is strong enough to play over no control shell that plays 3 fairy? I mean, obviously, I think that is somebody who plays a lot of the deck, yeah. I think that deck's very good. Okay, just take the consider here. But Deathred Shaman with the weird fetches and new Capenna. Well, the new fetches are not very powerful, and you know one thing I think a lot of people don't talk about with Deathred Shaman, and you know we did have a okay time with Shaman, right, in the Rogues deck this week. But one thing about the Deathrite Shamans, I think a lot of people don't realize, and like why it doesn't see that much, or a big part of why it doesn't see that much play, is not only are you not playing fetch lands, your opponents aren't playing fetch lands either. And so a big part of the reason why Shaman has been so good in... Okay, I'm not going to play the Kalitas into the Chandra. A big part of the reason why Shaman has been so good historically in Magic... okay, just take the Chandra here. I think I wait on the push. Just play a Hive here. Sorry. Is that your opponents also have fetch lands to exile. And when your opponents don't have the fetch lands, it gets a lot worse. Consider is one of the best draws I think my opponent could have here so they can get their entity going. They also like their card enough to keep it. Thrilling, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate ya. Welcome back. Or thank you, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I think I just play this, hold up the push for the possible hardcast Phoenix here. Discards the Phoenix, not super surprising. I guess what we're hoping here is that my opponent goes for the Thing in the Ice flip. We just get to push it response, eat a zombie, and start racing the Stormwing Entity with my 5/6 lifelinker. They do need, lands, 1-drop. Which they don't have, but this is maybe even better, I guess, because the Phoenix doesn't get brought back. Push the thing, untap. Would love to draw something to do with my mana, which we fail to do. That being said, Kalitas is still very strong here, and we have the Hive, the Eye Tyrants. Was it better to Hive the Phoenix this turn? I think it's better to just get the Kalitas at the 5/6 so it doesn't die to Lightning Axe. Okay, hit me down to 10. Oh, wow. That's a draw. Guess we play around Spell Pierce, huh? So they sack this, we get a zombie. I think I'll Thoughtseize over Fenlurker here. Opt Thing in the Eyes, took the Opt for sure. Clock with the 13, think again. Okay, drew another Opt, classic Thoughtseize bug. Puts a card on the bottom though. Plays Island, and his Lava Glide Pathway mystery card. Cool. 1 game 2. Aetos, the 16 months. Appreciate ya. Welcome back. Surprised I haven't tried any of the Greasewing decks. Well, one thing with the Greasewing decks is I already think that they're really, well explored. You know what I mean? I don't think that there's a, I do think that there's maybe some room for innovation on them. And I have had some ideas that I haven't, fully fleshed out, but... Again, I'm trying to do some new stuff. I'm trying to innovate here. I'm not just trying to play the decks that everybody else is playing. I think I want to Fenlurker this turn. No, this is not a Nykthos deck. Fenlurker is just a good card. Fenlurker is just good. What is this, 10,000 bits? How much even is that? That's not $100, is it? I think that is $100. Keep amazing work, you get a decent house scoring gift. Coop, thank you for the 10,000 bits. You madman. That's crazy. Terrestrial, appreciate that too. Oof, that was nice. Okay, let me, I think Sign in Blood and then probably Duress if I don't draw something else. Opt, Charter Course, Lightning Axe. I think I take an Opt, just make it pretty hard for them to flip the thing this turn. No, I can get deck tech for Fats. They see Timu's Mono Black Artifact deck? I didn't know. Interesting that they would play a Stormwing. Well, I'm probably just gonna march this, and then they flip the thing in the ice, they chump block, then I invoke and kill the thing in the ice. But it's, yeah, oh, this isn't a horror, right? Yeah, it's not. Glad to not think about any 0 mana spells. Remember, this is a horror, so I can chump block the thing in the ice here. Rogues. Okay, I played Rogues earlier this week. My list was pretty similar. Aghanim's Awakening is terrible in this deck, right? I think we determined this. Or maybe this was the wrong deck. I mean, it's not very good. Like, just like the fact that you have very few cards to return, and like the life loss is a big cost. There are plenty of other good utility lands. Like, I would play a Takenuma over this every single time. I think it was a different deck that we determined, like Takenuma, that the Awakening was really, really bad in. I was playing Deathrite Shaman in my list. I don't think you have to play Deathrite Shaman. I think Shaman is very good in Rogues, though. I also think Power Word Kill is the best 2-mana removal spell in the format. Obviously, everything misses something. You can also play the one that makes you lose, or makes you lose 2 life when you cast it. You can find my take on the Rogues deck in the Stream Decker with the Deathrite Shaman, also. Oh, no, they found a Phoenix. They found a Phoenix, so now my Invoke Despair doesn't get the job done. I guess what I'm doing now is playing Kalitas, March, exiling a Graveyard Trespasser to exile the Phoenix. And then next turn, and then they can Lightning Axe the, or they Lightning Axe the, no, that's right, they discarded the Lightning Axe. I'm not sure. Sorry, it's hard to do the deck tech and this at the same time. But, I mean, they could probably kill the Kalitas, but what's nice is that the Phoenix is gone, so I can try to kill the Horror with Invoke Despair. Is the thought here. I don't think I'd play second Cling to Dust, especially, like, yeah, I would play, like, third Dig Through Time, maybe even before the first Cling to Dust. I do like the Nighthawk Scavengers. I'm really high on Aether Gust. I think I was playing 4. The Disdainful Stroke is fine. I'm not sure it's necessarily what I'd be on. Yeah, you can also, this was my take on the Rogues deck. I'll pull it up real quick. Yeah, 3 Kaitos, 4 Shamans. I like this list a lot. I thought it was very good. 2 Into the Story, 2 Dig Through Time. Just 2 green lands. I was kind of thinking about maybe playing a third green shock land. Probably Breeding Pool, number 2. For the Shaman activation. Really relevant against Phoenix. The new Titan, new Capina, is it modern power level? There's that card's been memed on Twitter a little bit. No. Into Cruise? Brutal. Thoughts of the Velomaka's turn decks in Pioneer? I mean, if you're gonna play a linear combo deck, that one seems worse than Winota and Lotus Field. I'm just gonna thin first. Crazy draws. I think the Black March just the best option of mediocre options. I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense to me to play in this deck, right? Okay, it's interesting. I think it makes a lot of sense to me playing this deck where we have the Sign in Bloods, we have 4 copies of Castle Locthwain. Okay, they drew this for turn, and I just drew a Duress and I lose. Well, I chump block with Hive, and then I don't really have many, if any, outs. Like, the life gain is really important, I think, in that we're playing 4 Sign in Bloods, we're playing 4 Castle Locthwains. I think it's also, like, a generically fine card, too. Why do you 1-drop leagues? Yeah, I think in my experience, opinion, that, like, the EV is not great at playing at 1-2. It's usually why I drop it. It's close, though. But if I'm gonna win my next 2 matches, it's way better EV to start off 2-0, and then like if you're gonna assuming time is infinite, it is worth it to play it out. But time is just not infinite, you know. That being said, my play points are also getting kind of low. Spirits, okay. Definitely a good Liliana matchup, and definitely gonna take the Supreme Phantom. But did they keep that hand? They mulled the 6, they kept the 1-lander. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm casting... Well... Yeah, I think I'm okay with them. Oh, the old F6 with Mausoleum Wanderer in play. Of course. I would F6 with that card every time, too. 4 passages. These are for Fatal Push. You could maybe play like a little bit less. But they're for Fatal Push. Okay, so now they can Rattle Chains to protect this from my Liliana +1. That's a very good draw. Okay, definitely taking the Phantom. Plussing here. They Rattle Chains in response, and then assuming they don't draw a Lord, then I guess they get to Rattle Chains again next turn, but then our Graveyard Trespasser flips, and we're going to get to drain them a lot and put a lot of pressure on them. Can you say hello to my BF Abel? Hello, Abel. Hello to all the Abels out there. They're just letting me kill something with Liliana? It's weird. I guess they just really don't want the Trespasser to flip. Hello, Bata. Alright, no more hellos, though. Hello to everybody. And now our hello quota is full for today. Kind of greedy. Nah, not that greedy. It's fine. Okay, they do have another Rattle Chains in their hand, and these are currently indestructible. But the Sorin's also really good, putting a 2/3 flying lifelinker into play. Jane's give it 24 months. Almost missed that amongst all the hello quota. But thank you. 2 years. Do it on instep. Well, if I think I just wait and see if they let me flip this, and then like I'll do it on my instep probably. Just gonna first attack, exile these 2 creatures, drain them for 2. Life totals become 10. Just need a Hidetsugu consumes all, or Hidetsugu's second right. Or are they playing Confluence? I think they're splashing green for Collected Company. It's a somewhat common thing to do, I believe. We hit on the freaking Duress. I can't believe we hit there. I can't believe we hit on Duress. Okay. Don't have like too many dedicated sideboard cards for this matchup, just because I generally think that these matchups are pretty good, as you saw there. I may just run it back. I probably want to cut the Duress. Maybe Knight of Malices are okay. They do kind of help race. Maybe we'll bring in the Knights and cut like the Cling to Dust and 2 Thoughtseizes. Or maybe like 1 Invoke Despair, or 2 Invoke Despair, 1 Invoke Despair, 1 Thoughtseizes. Do you play FNM every once in a while? Or am I a drafter when I go? I haven't played FNM since like the beginning of MH2. It's kind of tough to play Magic and write about Magic all week, every week, and then when I've got some free time, go play some FNM. I do like to draft though. I do really like to draft. But I haven't been an FNM grinder in a long time. Pretty sure they are blue-white only. They used to run a mana confluence bear, no fast lane. Yeah, I guess that probably checks out. That they could still be blue-white even with 1 mana confluence. Yeah, Knight of Malice is mostly for blue-white control. The card's very, very good against blue-white control, and basically every other sideboard card for that matchup that you could play. Ooh, good card. But basically every other sideboard card for that matchup that you could play ends up being really high on your mana curve, but Knight of Malice being 2 mana is really nice. Draft Neo IRL? No, I that's the thing, is like I really love to draft. But it's tough. It's tough for me to like spend, like 30 to 40 hours live, then like, 15, 20 hours doing channel Fireball content, and like 15, 20 hours like testing off stream a week, and then in my free time, just go do a draft with friends. Alright. Draw removal spell next turn, we're in okay shape, maybe. Also, like none of my friends I like to play casually with really play much these days, so I have to go talk to strangers. Alright, double Fatal Push. Okay, single Fatal Push. So we kill this. Oh, sorry, we need to kill the Lord. Whoops. Okay, game 3. Get to be able to play for game 3. I mean, or we might still be deaf. Yeah, we're still deaf kill the Lord too. We need to draw a double Fatal Push. Maybe I should be playing the 4th Invoke Despair on the play. The card, like, not getting Spell Quellered is actually, I think, pretty big. Tenacious Underdog. Yeah, I think that card will be... good and very good in Pioneer. That card is maybe even good enough for Modern. I think that card's great. That card is really good. Evoked the Flesh and Blood at all? I've seen some friends play it. I talked to Tan and Grace about it a little bit. It's, you know, it's maybe something I'm interested in, but again... You know, in my free time, I like to hang out with Esther. I like to hang out with Athena. I like to play Elden Ring, play D&D. I've actually been doing a lot of creative writing in my free time, too, lately. I used to be very into it back in the day, and... Oh, no, not like this. Not against Spirits. 25 land deck. Does it go for fanfiction? No, I'm trying to write a novel, to be honest. I've been trying to write it for a long time. And I've been, you know, just getting back into it lately. They probably don't counter this. Stop, opponent! They're just, every single time, they're just F6 with Mausoleum Wanderer and Selfless Spirit. they're just F6, and we're gonna lose anyways. Yeah, I at one point was trying to, you know, get an English degree, get a teaching degree. Name of the win? I have it now. Do you own it? Do you want to loan it to me? Okay, still no 4th land. Not the worst. You know, if we're going to draw not a 4th land, at least we're drawing something okay to deploy this turn, but we're very likely going to lose. Attacking me for 7 down to 3, and I can play a Sorin, block, die. I don't know. It is what it is. Ugh. Atomic? Yeah, Atomic's good. Atomic's good. Atomic, maybe, yeah. I don't know if that card just wins the game by itself, but does seem pretty good. Alright, just 1 mana. Peek. Forgot to draw my card. Lavinia's good against them? Yeah, Lavinia's good, yeah. Vorport with the 1 year, appreciate ya. Thalia's decent. I actually feel like Thalia's... they could just, like, ignore the Thalia attacks to a, like, depressing amount. Oh, Archon, yeah. Archon's probably the best card, yeah. What do you use for card rental? I use Mana Traders. I use the gold tier. Getting the gold tier initially is not good enough to play everything, but I've had it for 3 years, and so it's almost good enough to play everything, but maybe the most expensive modern decks. I could have main phase the Cling to Dust. I think I'm okay. Just clinging on their turn. A lot of 5-drops, Invoke Despair and Gargaroth. Yeah, not quite lucky enough to draw push here. So I can either spend 3 mana on March or Sign in Blood and pitch a card to March. Probably just better to spend the mana. They only have creatures in their yard, so they're not that close to hitting Delirium. They don't just give me a plat account. They've offered me, you know, stuff. I've turned it down to Questing Beast. Well, that's a good draw. Maybe we'll find another one. We don't, but we do find a Thoughtseize, which at least impacts the board. And I guess we take this Gargaroth. They've hit me twice with Flare. They still don't have Delirium. No, I haven't used Sign in Blood for lethal quite yet. Okay, now their Flayers are delirious. Going to be dead to another Questing Beast. We do get to kill a Flayer, make them lose 4, and draw 2 new cards. One of them is a pretty relevant March of Wretched Sorrow. Sorry for... I just said Sorrow like a Canadian. I've never done that before. Okay, they exile my Cling to Dust. And they hit me with the Flayer. Probably should fetch first. Sorrow. Oh wow. Can I go Sorin for 4 mana? I'm one short of going Sorin, March, killing this, pitching the Exile and Thoughtseize, discarding the castle. I guess I'll pass, because if they do have Questing Beasts, I'd probably rather March that. Could Sorin plus. Oh, I just draw a black card? Yeah. I think that's probably, like, too loose. I'll just discard the Thoughtseize to the ward ability. Alright, swinging it back. Up to 8 life. 1 card in my opponent's hand, and I've got some gas in the tank. Just gonna make a lifelinker. Maybe they have a push. That's okay if they do. Takenuma. So Takenuma's gonna get back Questing Beast, I assume. Questing Beast puts me to 4, kills the Sorin. Don't have anything better, do they? They returned Elder Gargaroth to their hands. I'm pretty happy with that decision, I think. Why not trade Hive there? I think I really prioritize gaining the life. Okay, Elder Gargaroth and absolutely, or sorry, the Invoke Despair absolutely embarrasses Elder Gargaroth. I think Invoke's really good in Pioneer. It's fine in Modern too, but... Oh, another one. It's probably gonna be game. Okay, they should have targeted some of their own creatures and drained me for 2 there. That was definitely a mistake. Alright, opponent's not conceding. All 4 Hives in play. What a swingy game. Finding updates for Black Anvil Modern. I've been liking the list I've been playing. I don't think I've had any big updates now. Opponent's dead on board with the Hives. Can you even double activate, right? Well, I'm gonna cast it. I'm gonna cast it. It's very important in these kind of spots to just inflict as much psychic damage as you possibly can. Pretty sure we're just running it back. Don't have any dedicated sideboard cards for these kind of matchups. Our game 1's like pretty geared against them. So Grixis Anvilus for Modern. I've tried a few different versions. Basically none of them have Imri though. I don't know. Everybody wants to play Imri, but cards like just I think kind of medium. Maybe one go blank. Yeah, I could. Yeah, maybe on the draw go blank over like the Duress. I don't hate it. Got a deck tech for Fiend. If you want to post a link in the chat, I can take a look. Won 2 FNMs in a row so far. Would love your input. Pioneer, White Green, Eldritch Evolution Toolbox. Okay, my first note. You gotta get that. You gotta get that down. Maybe Pioneer, White Green Toolbox Control. This doesn't get it down that much. So you have 4 Spirits of Companion and 4 Voice of Resurgence. As good cards to sacrifice. I think I keep this on the draw. Is Spirits of Companion better for your mana than Elvish Visionary? I kind of feel like Visionary is probably better. I'd also probably like to see your 22nd land here. Even with the elves, I think I want to see land number 22. What is land number 22? Yeah, with seven forest, I think I want to see Elvish Visionary over Spirits of Companion. Assuming that card's legal, right? Good draw. That card is legal. Okay, if not, yeah, Spirits of Companion's fine. Yeah, you maybe play like First Plains. You maybe play maybe play like one Hive or layer of the Hydra. Maybe the first layer of the Hydra. I don't really like playing Lyra when you already have 4 Elder Gargaroths. I feel like Gargaroth is generally better than Lyra. I think that it's probably not very necessary. Archangel of Tithes also, like, I don't feel like this card does that much for you. It's obviously, like, it's probably an okay option, but I'm not sure that, I just don't really feel like this is one that I feel like you're getting your bang for your buck. I also, like, really dislike that you don't have, like, a main deck, like, card that you can tutor against the Lotus Field deck. I think that seems like a mistake. Like, main decking, like, I guess I would probably main deck a Yasharn, but that's obviously not for that matchup. And you don't have any in the sideboard either. Like playing a Archon of the what's the card called? The 2-mana Archon, 3-mana Archon. They can't cast spells. Like, that's one of the best cards in the format against them. So I'd even be like one main deck and playing a couple in the sideboard, and I'd be like wanting to maybe play Atomic too. And yeah, it's really weird that you have Deafening Silence over the Archon. I think Archon's like better than Deafening Silence too, because it doesn't get Besaged. Beyond that, I think I'd also might like to see maybe multiple Thalias in the main deck. Like, if it's only discounting Evolution or making Evolution cost more, like, I feel like you could probably afford to do something like Cataclysmic, cut a Gearhulk, cut an Archangel of Tithes, cut like 2 Knight of Autumns. I'm not sure that I love the Tusk. I mean, I love the Tusk. I'm not sure if the Tusk is good. Can play some Thalias, like 3 Thalias, 2 Thalias. I don't think I like Justani either. You just have so many like 5-drop creatures that stabilize against you know, like this deck seems to be 5-mana creatures that stabilize against aggro tribal, and it's just like I think you've got, like, you have 4 Elder Gargaroths, you're good. You don't need Justani. You don't need Lyra, I think. I do like the portable holes. Oh, wait. Yeah, my opponent did discard a card to the Tithe Taker, but they did not need to. They did not need to, because Ward counters the thing. Yeah, I think I just want to march here. Yeah, Ward counters it, and the K can't be countered. Blue sits is my take on mono blue affinity. Okay, I could take a look. Let me invoke just a little despair. Another one, wow. I don't like Welding Jar in the main deck very much, and I definitely don't like 2. I definitely don't like 2. I do like the Waterlog Grove. I don't know that I like the Tanglepool Bridge. I mean, obviously it seems like you feel that I was playing not enough blue sources, but maybe you do something like 2 Tanglepool Bridge and you do something like 2 Tangle Bridge, 2 Citadel. If you, I think that you probably have a. I think it's too many tap lands. I also do think that the Oboro, like the blue filter land, is pretty relevant, even with just the Urza Sagas, but we don't have to talk it to death. Yeah, I really dislike the Welding Jars. I would be playing like at least 2 Thoughtcast over them. And you could sideboard 1, but I think the card's like so low impact. I know it's a 0 mana artifact, but I still just generally dislike the card in the main deck. Grove is fine. I would definitely play Ashiok's over any number of Aether Gust. Ashiok is just like by far the best way you can possibly beat the hold on, let me just go ahead and get my opponent's hand out of here. Ashiok is the best way to beat the I don't know why I keep losing my train of thought. The Titan matchup. And that is a very hard matchup too, so I think that's really a sideboard card that I prioritize. But I do like this deck. I think this deck's good. I think that it does have a lot of flexibility. I think they might be right on like some of the tapped artifact duels, but I don't think you're right on playing that many. This is deck 1 Brave Maggot. Yarok's Fenlurker is better than Brave Maggot, I think. Pump once, pump twice. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take this hit. I might end up pumping and trading. Maybe just invoke some despair. What I suggest over the jar again? Thoughtcast. Thoughtcast. Okay, I'm probably just gonna jump block and push now. The deck has 4 Thoughtcast? That's 4 Thought Monitor. I didn't see the Thoughtcasts. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't know how I missed them. I totally thought you just cut them. Okay, let me see what I'm playing. Sorry. Where is Dreadnought Affinity? Oh, you cut the Dreadnoughts. I like the Dreadnoughts. You cut the Dreadnoughts. I don't know how I missed that. I think at least the first Dreadnought as a Urza Saga target is good. Maybe I could even see to a 1-1 split of Welding Jar Dreadnoughts, but I like Dreadnought. I would play it. Okay. I guess I'll wait to push on my turn, so because for day night. Then get in here. I don't think I'm playing the second Fenlurker yet. Getting pretty. I could just double Hive the next turn too. Did you bring in Duress if they had Invoke Despair over Garg? I'll be playing some number. Yeah, I mean Duress is just like, or Invoke Despair as you're seeing this game does feel like a deterministic card. Is there a Pioneer version of Lotus Field deck, and is it good? There is one, yeah. Some people have been working on it. It is. I think it's a big problem to play Blood Sun in a format where the Lotus Field combo is really powerful, but the deck is fine, yeah. What does Rock in the deck name mean? I usually like to call black mid-range decks with lots of discard and removal rock style decks. The definition, I do think it's looser and looser, but like a lot of people think that rock means specifically green-black. In this green-black X in this archetype, but I was referring to red-black X a lot, and I think what I like about using the rock in the title here is that it does kind of highlight that in Pioneer, there's the red-black X rock mid-range deck, the green-black one that we just played against, some white-black variants, but this, and I'm trying to highlight that this is the same kind of archetype, but we're just choosing here to, ooh, interesting. I think I'm pushing. I don't know if they have any protection spells. I think I'll push now. We're choosing to play the same archetype is the point I'm trying to make, but we're doing so without splashing a color is kind of, you know, the idea here. Yeah, I know it used to refer to Phyrexian Plague Lord. I feel like that definition has evolved some. Do you know the Lotus Field matchup by the second land drop? Can you not play the Blood Sun and still have to beat them? Yeah, I guess that's true. It's probably pretty reasonable, but it's also true, like, just not being able to cast the Blood Sun very early in that matchup is a problem. For a deck that is so fast and so, like, resilient, surprisingly resilient to counter spells. Although, maybe if you just main deck 4th Dahlia, you're going to be okay, and maybe not, also. Why did Plague Lord get called the Rock? So the idea is that the Plague Lord... I can't remember. I think it's like has something to do with the art or the pose. Okay. Etching of Kumano. Robber of the Rich. Robber's looking pretty good here. And a Bomat Courier, wow. Okay. Kind of a tough turn. I actually kind of like Fenlurker and then March kill the Robber this turn. Fenlurker blocked the Bomat. Could be maybe better to Trespasser. Yeah, the Wrestler, the Rock. Yeah. They exiled the Shokuzan, so they probably have a spell, because I can't imagine that there's a land that they would want to exile over Shokuzan. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're playing against the main deck Knight of Grace. It's outrageous. It's unfair. Okay, we'll accept the main deck Knight of Grace if they're just gonna run the Bomat into my Fenlurker though. And then I could main deck this Fatal Push so that, or main phase this Fatal Push so that I can flip this if they don't draw a spell for turn, which I think is pretty fine. I'm going to kill the battery so that this can't become a 4/3 first strike and beat a flipped Gravebound Trespasser. Do you think a mono black aggro shell playing Mogus Marauder is a viable in Modern or Pioneer? I think that like Pioneer is just not as much about like blocking. I mean, the blocking is more important in Pioneer than in Modern, but like Mogus Marauder doesn't seem like this amazing great payoff. But mono black aggro has been a popular and competitive archetype in Modern in the past, or sorry, in Pioneer in the past. I would be surprised if it were the case that it was just never somewhat viable again. You can cast on their turn without stopping the Knight. Oh, right, it's the active player that it cares about. I always forget that. Cemetery Gatekeeper. Very interesting card here. Hard choice on which type to exile. The deck is interesting. Just white-red, weenie. Need to give it to one creature so it invokes that. Well, we can block this. We could just like double block it next turn potentially. It only has hexproof, not protection. They choose instant for their graveyard, their cemetery gatekeeper. Yeah. I don't know why, I'm just like struggling to read the card. Alright, no tax. Gonna take 3 more, but the Sorin's gonna be, I think, pretty strong next turn. It is nice that this does not trigger on attacks, it's only on ETB. Rabbit Battery, because that's gonna allow them to equip to the Gatekeeper and then hit me for 6. Pretty good pickup for my opponent. Can't really block, just gonna have to take 6, and then we'll see what we draw. Invoke Despair. So if I find Fatal Push off the Invoke Despair, I'm in pretty good shape. If I play Sorin, I minus. They attack with just the 3 power creatures. I double block the Knight of Grace to kill the lifelinker, I die. If I play Sorin minus, they attack. I could double chomp. Yeah, I think I have to Invoke Despair. Find push. Oh no, I take 2 damage from the Gatekeeper. I guess I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I just jump block here. Alright, failed to find a push. Gonna go to game 2. So I guess we're gonna cut the Thoughtseizes for the Knight of Malice. Go to game 2. Not doing anything and flipping. What is that? That doesn't do anything, right? Oh, I can block with the Hive. Just pass, flip. Then I have a 4/4 to eat the 3 power creatures. They move the Rabbit Battery over to the Knight of Malice attack. I chump block, and then I'm alive. Yeah, I guess that line's better. Yeah. I like it. Do you use a mono black Nykthos Golos deck, or just do mono green at that point? Do you think Golos is underexplored in the format? I was working on a mono red version. You could maybe play. Sorry. You could maybe play mono black too. I think it's kind of tough because like the devotion enablers just aren't great. Meathook Massacre is kind of a good devotion enabler though. But I was working on this. I've had this deck prepped for a little while. Maybe we'll play it today. Maybe we won't. But what's cool is you can Cleansing Wildfire your Cataracts or your Citadel to ramp into one of your 4-drops on turn 3 or fires into another 4-drop, and then use your Cataracts or Golos later. I thought this list was okay. I did some playtesting with it. Mono white Golos with Book of Exalted Deed. Tutor your Mutavault. And then Book is also a good devotion enabler. Is that already a deck? That kind of sounds like that's probably already a deck. What do you think about Shadow of Mortality Death Shadow deck? The new card, the card's terrible. The fact that this card is like never castable until like turn 4, I think, and it's only a 7/7. It's just very bad. You did deck tech for it? Yeah, I couldn't remember if you were playing Golos Prophet. I mean, I know that you're playing Book. Just couldn't remember if you had Golos. Good card for Book 2. Yeah, could. If I'm wrong, but is blue the weakest color? Pioneer blue is actually, in my opinion, the best color. Like all the top decks play blue. It's like Lotus Field, Phoenix, blue-red control, blue-white control. Most of the top decks play blue. I mean, double Fatal Push does seem very good in this matchup. I think I'm gonna keep. I don't like it that much. But we also have Castle, have Hive. And like this is, you know, double push in your opening hand against this kind of deck is great. It might be playable in Pioneer since dodge removal, but that's about it. I don't know. It's like I would play Murktide Region over it every single time. Like Murktide is castable on turn 2 or turn 3. It doesn't, and like I think this card is going to be quite poor in modern. It's just really hard to get to 7 life before turn 4. And like the payoff is just not there. And like you also have access to like Scourge of the Skyclave in Modern, Tarmogoyf, Murktide region. It's not like it's hard to get a big dumb 2-mana creature. You can play Ranger Captain, just play more shadows. You can play Traverse the Uvenwald, and you have a 2-mana Death Shadow instead of this card. Zemo, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate ya. Murktide isn't Pioneer. Sorry, I know I'm crossing my streams a little bit, talking about Pioneer and talking about this card, but I'm talking about this Death Shadow card is not going to see any play in Pioneer without the life paying. I am talking about Modern. Okay, they chose Sign in Blood, which is obviously good for me as someone who doesn't have a I have push, and they didn't choose the push. Drawing 2 lands, pretty tough. At least we drew the Sign in Blood. Ordinary Hands, thank you for the gifted sub. How do you get those hearts to show up like that? I've never seen that. Okay, I think I'm gonna wait on this Fatal Push. Pass back. It's just all love. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do think that, I mean, the Calibrated Blast deck is a bit better than a meme, and I do think that this card is probably going to be okay in like specifically the Calibrated Blast deck. But like you know, I think that we don't need to like every single time I talk about this card evaluate it big O, but it's good in the Calibrated Blast deck. We could just kind of remember. Alright, taking 4 down to 16. Obviously, do need to keep drawing well. Usually a pretty important thing to do. Mission accomplished. But was it you that lost to Calibrated Blast in a tournament? I don't know if that was me. I mean, Calibrated Blast, it's better than a meme. Like Calibrated Blast is like 1 tier above meme and like a tier below like competitive deck. But you know, this card is like actually like a significant upgrade. Just like being like your 15 mana spell being like somewhat castable, as opposed to like not castable at all is a significant upgrade. But like, you know, most people when they're asking about this card, they're not asking me. I think they're not asking me to evaluate it in the context of Calibrated Blast. I think they're asking me to evaluate it in the context of like just regular Death Shadow decks, and this is, I don't think it's going to be good in regular Death Shadow decks. Okay, so we can attack here, and if they block, we just make our Kalitas a 5/6, obviously. Yeah, they should have attacked. And then I think we just block with the zombie and then sack it rather than sack now. Although I guess if they have a haste creature, we can't block with the zombie because of the Legion Loyalist. But we're probably okay if they draw haste creature for turn. Opinion on March of Other with Light and 4-color Bonnie Pile. I mean, that card's just generally pretty powerful. I think that, you know, you're a 4-color deck, and you can play any reasonable card in your colors, and it's going to be fine. I think that you probably don't want to play that card if Hammer is not that popular. And, you know, maybe you shouldn't play it anyways, because Hammer is already, like, one of your best matchups. How am I liking Pioneer? I'm liking it a lot, Todd. It's all pretty open. I'm having fun. I'm like, you know, at the point where I'm doing some brewing, and I'm having a good time. Opinion on Shrimp Scampi? I like it a lot. Black March is pretty cracked. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Please brew the Golos White Book Devotion deck sometime. Yeah, it sounds okay. It's a bit awkward to be like really in on Devotion when you're playing Mute Vaults, but it's probably okay. Yeah, I am bleeding play points, but I mean, I always bleed play points when I do a lot of brewing, right? Just like every set release, every time I do a lot of brewing, I'm like just constantly in a state of trying new things, dropping, changing cards, trying new things that don't work. Just part of the process. Thank you, lesbian Danny DeVito. You have a great username. Do not, yeah. If you cannot afford the subscription, or don't want to subscribe, I don't care. I'm just happy that you're here. I really enjoy that we get to come here and hang out every single day, just talk about Magic and get away from everything. It's very important to me this week, and yeah, it's just not really about the money. I mean, the money's important. So some of you do have to subscribe, or I'm gonna starve. But you guys are subscribing, so we're doing okay. You ever stream Elden Ring? I streamed it a couple times when it first came out. I just finished my first playthrough of Elden Ring, and I don't know when I'm going to play it again, but hopefully soon. And then Bimp is gifting a sub to lesbian Danny DeVito. I played a Cabal Stronghold deck yesterday. The card is bad. Okay, good to know. I mean, okay, I do think the Cabal Stronghold's not great. That being said, it's possible we're evaluating it wrong, where it's just like Cabal Stronghold is an untapped colorless land that in the late game can make a lot of mana, right? It's like maybe building your deck around it is wrong because you can build it this way with Castle Locthwain and Hive the Eye Tyrants, and Cabal Stronghold means you can't play those cards, or you shouldn't play those cards probably. But it is possible, like you play the modern deck in. And you see how good Cabal Coffers is, but like the fact that Stronghold enters untapped, taps for colorless, maybe it is better than you evaluated that. Quaddle, thank you for Twitch Prime, appreciate you. I thought Esther was the breadwinner. Yes, Esther does okay. Esther does okay. Supports her gamer boyfriend. If you're on the Black Green Rock you played a week ago, I like it. I think it's I think mono black, green black, red black, white black are all different sides of the same coin. And I don't know what the best version is. They all seem pretty solid. Thoughts on Blood Aspirant and either Pioneer or Modern Anvil. Which one is that a new card? Let me get an exclamation point card. Dude, I had a dream that my control key didn't work last night. But it does work. Okay, whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a blood counter on it. 1 red, tap, second creature enchantment. This 1 damage target creature. Creature can't block this turn. Seems pretty fragile. Seems worse than other sack outlets. Probably not a card you want to play. Yeah, I had a dream that my control key wasn't working, and I was trying to like control paste or something, and I couldn't do it. And then I also had a dream. I was at my high school reunion. And we were taking the tax tests, and for the tax test is like the Texas, I don't know, evaluation tests when you're in grade school. They were pretty easy, but I remember I went to my high school reunion in my dream last night, and then like the first thing we did was we took a tax test. It was horrible. And I'm like, why did I go to this? What was the point? I might just take 1 here. I think they've kept a 1-lander though, and so if they kept a 1-lander, I really want to use the push. And I drew a 2-drop. Specifically, that 2-drop also really makes me want to push. Texas assessment of knowledge and skills. Yeah, thank you. Shout out to all my tax test takers out there. Yeah, it's TAKS. Yeah, it's not TAX. The Texas Assessment of Knowledge and Skills. I think Esther went with me too. I can't remember in the dream. Okay, they got their Knight of Grace. They're poking me in for 1. I'm down to 15. We do get to slam a Graveyard Trespasser. Drain them for 1. Knight of Grace continues to be a thorn in my side, though. Oh, yeah, it's the star test now. It's what a boring conversation. What a boring conversation, huh? Alright, taking 3 down to 13. Remember when my opponent missed their first land and we were like, alright. Not feeling so alright anymore. I'm probably going to chump block with the Fenlurker. They have 4 cards still in their hand. They're all spells. There's 3 after this trigger. It was maybe better to just pass the turn, actually. I can't. Yeah, I think it was actually just better to pass the turn. Oh, yeah. Legion Loyalist does give them trample. They discard Tajic Legion's Edge. Well, that's only if they attack with the Loyalist, though. Because if they attack with the Loyalist, I get to eat it with the Trespasser. But Mega Master doesn't need... But Pioneer meta doesn't need Mega Master that much for mono black. I don't really think so, no. Okay, Path of Metal. 1 damage to each creature that doesn't have First Strike, Double Strike, Trample, Vigilance, Haste. Attack with 2 creatures that have those. Transform it into this land, which they just did, I guess. And this land, whenever you attack with the... Oh, sorry, this can deal 2 damage to each opponent. Choose a random creature that attack this turn, destroy that creature. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, Midrange Master, like, you know, obviously Midrange Master will be good in, like, a matchup like this, but there's a lot, like, a huge chunk of the Pioneer metagame is, like, Blue-White Control, Lotus Field combo, Blue-Red Control, Blue-Red Phoenix, and, like, the Midrange Massacre is, like, really bad against these decks, and... So, at least I don't think it's the main deckable card. Wolf Skull, thank you for the 5-pack, appreciate you. Hope you're having a good day. Gotta give some for Wolf Skull, make sure to thank them. Okay, so next turn I can Invoke Despair, gain 1 off the Trespasser, and then I die to this, I guess. Karvek is the truth. Do I have to read Karvek? Timu, someone said you had a cool mono black artifact deck. What was that about? Okay, so I go... Oh yeah, so I guess what we have to do here is Liliana, kill this. The next turn we have to chump block here. Take 4, then we can kill the Loyalist, and then we can Invoke Despair to kill 1 of the Knight of Grace, but I guess we're still like in bad shape. Probably dead. Carp with the $10. This deck isn't likely gonna be fun. Okay, if you want to post a link in chat, I can take a look. A spoiler, Plunder Queen. Oh, Jolene the Plunder Queen. That's not the real name, is it? Human Warrior, player attacks 1 or more opponents, attacking player creates a treasure token. Make 1 or more. If you would make 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create that many tokens plus an additional 1. Sacrifice 5 treasures, put 5 counters on Jolene the Plunder Queen. It's a pretty good name. Yeah, commander card. Alright, I'm down to 3. Yeah, I've got to draw like Kalitas, I think. Oh, they also just have this. Probably dead. 8 rack in modern. I do like Davriel, or at least I have liked Davriel in the past. Oh, we're just dead. Okay, that's a frustrating match. It kind of stinks to lose to Spirits and a deck like this. I feel like both decks you're supposed to beat. I think I am gonna pivot decks though. I've had this this list right here. I've had this deck prepped